matter what. I'm feeling great.
Om Shanti and welcome back to an all-new episode on Light of Knowledge with Sister Janki. So far we have talked to Sister Janki about her trials and tribulations as she established a center single-handedly in Bali, Indonesia, away from her hometown in Malaysia. Today, we're going to continue her discussion and get more insight on her life journey, the different countries she traveled, to bring the knowledge to the different people in other places. So let's all welcome Sister Janki. Om Shanti and welcome back.
Om Shanti.
Sister, we have had such beautiful conversations in the previous episodes, and you told us how single-handedly away from your home, you were the instrument in establishing a center, a Brahma Kumaris Center in Bali, Indonesia. Today, let's talk about the successful moments that you may have had, because you told us that it was just your faith in God and your courage and the confidence that you had. So were there any moments where you were like, okay, I'm here and it's worth it. I'm supposed to be here. That's why I'm here. So were there any moments like that where success was like following you everywhere?
There were many moments like that. You see, when I'm in a place and I know I'll be there for some time and I'll have to do some seva there, the first thing I do is I tell myself, this is my sthana, my place. Mm-hmm. I have to be comfortable here. I have to accept this place. I must be free in this place. I must be okay in this place. And so I set my mindset in the correct position so that I am not in any way disturbed. I'm not in any way perturbed by what's happening. I know that that's my place. I have to be comfortable where I am. And then after that, the next step is to look outside. Who are those who want to come? What are their needs? How do I deal with them? Not to say deal, interact with them. Right. How do I get them to really listen to me and to understand this knowledge? What benefits can they get from their meditation experience? So slowly, as I begin to look at those students who come, what is it that they need? How much do they need? Are they ready to receive? How much? Or are they just coming to get a feel of the center? Mm-hmm. So there are many different types of students. And so you cannot give the same kind of welcome or the same kind of seva to everyone.
That's a very interesting point, because it seems like you have to have that knowledge to discriminate and judge as each person walks through the door.
Yes.
What is his or her problem? What are they looking for?
Yes.
And that itself is a wonderful power to have, because it's almost like being a doctor, I'm thinking.
Yes.
In addition to being a mother that you talked about in our previous episode, now you're playing the role of a doctor, where you're identifying their needs and then giving them what exactly they're looking for.
People are very afraid to open up. They're very scared to say what they need. They're afraid to tell their own life story.
Sure.
So just to make them comfortable and for them to reach out to me and I to reach out to them, it's a process.
Right.
But once you get that connection, then they become your friends and your mates forever.
That's nice.
So it takes time, because a relationship is slowly like getting together and making a kind of a bond that will keep us together. It takes time. But some, they just get out of the bond because they don't want to be attached to anything, anyone, any kind of a study. They just move away. But some, they are more courageous and they say, I want to know more about this. I want to learn more about this. For these people, you can give them books, some cassettes to listen to, some songs to take back home, so that you keep up their enthusiasm even while they are not in the center.
Right.
And that keeps them going.
You know, in my spiritual journey personally, I have noticed that with my colleagues and friends, there are a lot of people who just want to get a taste
Yes,
of an organization. And, you know, they're not necessarily wanting to be there permanently, but they'll go to like several different places.
Yes.
Once you get a feel for it, like I said, you have that power to judge and discriminate. And when people who you get a feel are not totally into,
Yes.
but they still walk in. But I'm sure you give them the same kind of love and affection.
Of course, because,
Yes.
you know, once they come to meet you, you give them an impression that is like everlasting. And if they go somewhere else to look for something else and they can't find it there, they come back to
That's
you.
right.
So every relationship is a forever thing, either in the memory or in reality.
That's very true.
So that is very important. And so when they come, they cannot go back empty-handed. At least give them a real smile, some time. Give them some time to say what they want to say. So this is important because we are serving the world with love and not with words. We are serving the world with peace and not with words. We're serving the world with vibrations and not with words. And so this is very subtle. So they look beyond the words. They look beyond the person and they try to get a feel of what is it this person is actually. And once they feel that there is no danger, it is safe, then they come closer.
That's true.
Because it's a process, you know, like that.
Right. You know, I guess once you build a trust with them, then this was something very important that you just said, which struck a chord with me. Even when they walk in the first time, and even if they're there to just dab into it, whatever you have given them at that point, you know, in terms of not words, but from inside, what comes from you within, they walk away, it's going to stay as a memory. And who knows, down the line, they come back to you recalling that memory. So that's very important.
That's
what
very
you said.
true.
Yeah.
So what really binds two people together, or what binds people together is that there must be simplicity, like no complications, no ego, no expectations, just warmth,
Right.
just openness, just anything is okay. So they feel comfortable. But if they feel that they have to obey you or listen to you or they have to do something or they have to come back again, this gives them a fear.
Right.
So they will ask, do I have to come back again? Then I ask them, do you want to come back? They said, maybe. Okay, when would you like to come? Tomorrow? Yes. But what time? It's up to you. So like that,
Okay.
if we can sort of keep that openness, then they feel more comfortable. And after they are comfortable, you can sort of slowly train them to follow a certain discipline. Like morning class is morning class. You know, that time they have to come. But it takes time for them to get into that student mood.
Right.
It takes time.
Right.
But once they come for morning class and they listen to the spiritual knowledge, they experience the power of the gathering, they experience the peace in the hall, that draws them again and again. And Baba does everything. Baba pulls them. So this is how Baba works, very incognito, but in a nice way.
Right. Right.
So we just help to facilitate
Right.
all those things to happen.
Right.
But the real person doing it is the one above.
Right, like you said, I mean, they're probably feeling that higher
Yes,
power.
yes.
And that's what makes them want to come back.
Yeah, because they wonder, why are these people doing all this and they're not getting paid?
Right.
And they're going to all these, great lengths to please us. So what is it that they are getting?
Okay.
And then they feel, I also want to get that. I want to get that peace.
Right.
I want to get that love that they are feeling.
Right.
I want to get that kind of freedom that they are feeling.
Right.
And so this makes them like greedy, wanting to follow,
Right.
wanting to get, wanting to taste.
Right. Didi, in our previous episode, we talked about, how Brahmakumaris has impacted the mainstream population in Bali, Indonesia. But I'm sure there are some Hindus there as minority, probably. How have they taken to this knowledge?
Actually, Bali is a Hindu island.
Okay.
The majority of the Balinese, they're Hindus.
Okay.
But the kind of Hinduism that they practice is quite different from the Hinduism we see in India.
Okay.
Because in their temples, they don't have like a figure, murti, an idol. There is no such thing.
Okay.
So they all gather together on certain festival days. They pray together, and they don't have an image of Krishna or Vishnu or Saraswati, no. But they just think that there is this higher power.
So there
And
is
they all believe
absolutely...
in Shiva, but they know nothing about Shiva. And they say the highest of the high is Shiva, but they have no idea what is Shiva and who he is, what he does. So when they come to Brahma Kumaris, we explain that he is just a point of light, that he is not male or female, that he gives vibrations, and those vibrations are full of peace. Those vibrations are full of love, gives you power, gives you comfort, heals you. That attracts them.
Okay. The temples that you talked about, so they have no kind of idols, but is there anything that they come in? I mean, is it just the four walls, or is there anything?
Yes, just the four walls. And they have this kind of sthana, this stamba, these pillars. And they say the God will come and sit on those, at the top of those.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
and then they come in, and meditation is common in that culture?
Little bit of meditation, guided meditation.
Okay.
For example, all say this prayer and they all say that.
Okay.
And they say this mantra and they repeat it. So it's like a kind of a guided ritual.
Okay. I believe you've also had the opportunity to interact with the priest. So
yes.
Could you please talk about that a little bit?
The priests were very much interested in the teachings of Brahma Kumaris, because they say we do a lot of rituals. We work with our hands. We love God, and we do many things to please God. And we have many kind of holidays where we use these to give our praise to the Almighty. But we cannot concentrate.
Okay.
But we cannot think of Him. But we cannot focus on Him. But you do it. Can we know the methodology?
Wow.
So they come. And so we teach them the art of concentration, how to keep thoughts, to the self. Like, I'm peace, but just don't stop with that one thought. I'm peace. I feel peace. What do I feel? Lightness. I feel relaxed. I feel like I'm floating. I feel that I have no more bondages. Just free to go where I want. And that gives me a feeling of real peace. So this peace makes my body also relax, the muscles relax, my face also relaxes, and it's a kind of an ointment to the soul, and they love that feeling. So we start with peace, and we keep that peace for a long time, and from that peace, they experience a kind of a contentment and a kind of achievement, and that gives them happiness. So it's like something is happening inside that is unseen, but they are experiencing that. And this is meditation. So we tell them, if you have a thought, keep that thought and go deep into that thought. Peace, lightness, freedom, having the feeling of floating like a cloud. Just feel that and just stop forgetting, whatever you've got to do. Stop all that and just concentrate on this one thought.
That's very interesting because this kind of highlights the role that Brahma Kumari has to play, because priests are almost considered second to God, if I may.
Yes.
In some cultures. And,
yes, they are the
because
connection.
Exactly. People believe that they are the ones who are connecting you to the Paramatma or Supreme Being or God, as people know. And I think this is very interesting and a powerful commendation for Brahmakumaris, that the priests themselves admitted that we are not exactly.
So what they feel is they're doing everything and yet they can't concentrate, and yet they have not really achieved something, although they feel satisfied that I've done according to our rituals, but they don't feel satisfied and they can't concentrate. So concentration is the main thing, and this is what Brahma Kumaris also focus on, because through concentration we can reach God. Through concentration we can draw power. Through concentration we can get the experience. Through concentration we feel the change, the transformation that's happening inside. And so this is very important.
Right. Here in Brahma Kumaris, the spirituality as it is taught here tells you that you can go beyond,
Swati, when we are in the physical world, everything is limited. The amount that we can do, the time we can spend, the energy that we have. So it's very limited. But once you start, going to places with your mind, it becomes unlimited.
Right.
So meditation gives you this unlimitedness, this feeling of, I can achieve anything only if I just give myself time.
Right.
And this is very exciting. And what God teaches is the most exciting thing, because there's so many aspects of the self that we are not aware of. We never thought that we could be selfless. We never thought that we could get rid of anger or ego.
Right.
But He's giving us all this.
Right.
And it happens like naturally.
Right.
And it happens so easily.
Right.
So God is great.
Right. Didi, as it is taught here in Brahma Kumaris, what are the guidelines that you give people to help them meditate?
Yes, to meditate, what we need is a place that is quiet, free from noise, free from rush, not much movement. This helps the mind to calm down. So the atmosphere in the place where we meditate must be conducive to meditation. That's important. And the other thing is, the person trying to meditate, he or she should be relaxed. So we give them a kind of hope and also kind of encouragement that just relax and just see yourself, see your true self, see the beauty in you, see that you are a very special human being and you have peace. Now experience that peace. You experiencing peace right now. You, who is very quiet, is now experiencing total peace. You are peaceful. You are free. You are light. So they move into that kind of an atmosphere and they just let go like that. Otherwise, they say, where are my hands and where, how am I sitting?
Right.
So they can sort of let go and move, have feelings of experiencing the peace.
So it is basically you start out with just a basic introduction.
Yes, yeah.
And because you cannot obviously jump into...
Because many of them say, I cannot concentrate.
I think that is
cannot meditate.
Yes.
How do I do it?
Right.
Where do I look? Where do I see?
Right.
Where should my eyes, be looking at? What should my eyes be looking at? There are so many questions.
Right.
And then they say, should I look at you? So, to get them to experience and not let the physical eyes see.
That's right.
That is important. So I tell them, your eyes can be just relaxed, and not really focused on anything, but your mind is focused on peace. So try to see peace. Can you visualize it? Can you experience it? What is it like? Tell me. So they also, they tell me, well, I'm quiet. I don't have to talk. And then, they go deeper and they say, I feel good. So they say, what they feel.
Right.
So you can say, yes, it's good. It's good. So this is concentration.
Right, right. Didi, thank you so much for being with us today in our Godlywood studio. And this is not over yet. This journey has to go on. So we would definitely love to have you back in our Godlywood studio. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
So friends, we discussed a little bit today about the basics of meditation. And as I mentioned, this is not over yet. We have a lot more questions that are going to go Didi's way. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and please continue to watch us. And until next time, Om Shanti.